Hi everyone, this is Heather Vickery with Vickery & Co. and the Brave Files podcast. How are you today? So I am coming to you today to do the very first book review for the 12 Books in 12 Months challenge. So for those of you who are just joining us, really quick overview of what that actually is. At the beginning of the year, I accepted a challenge from a woman that I know named Casey Marie. Casey was also a guest on the Brave Files, so you'll have to check that episode out. I can put a link in the notes here. Casey challenged me and pretty much everybody she's friends with on Facebook to pick out 12 books that have been collecting dust on their bookshelf and commit to reading one book a month essentially for the next year. At first I was like, this is crazy. Who has time to read? I don't have time. I'm busy. I run 2 businesses. I'm a single mom. I have 4 kids. No way, no how, except I love to read and I want to be reading and I believe in the power of learning more. And I do learn every day. I think it's really important to learn every day. And there are a lot of different ways that I gain new knowledge, but reading was something I had just sort of let slip. And when I look at all of the people that I admire, all of my mentors, people that I know who are super successful, they all make reading a priority in their life. And it's something that I thought, I really want to try and do this, but boy, did it feel like a really big commitment. But I took on the commitment and I knew that in order to follow through with it, I would need to do a couple of different things. I would need to build a system to help me read and also to hold me accountable. So the first thing I did was schedule 15 minutes into my day, every single day, 7 days a week, to read. 15 minutes is not that much, but you'd be surprised how much you can get done if you just spend 15 minutes on something. And I'm telling you, in general, anytime you can make tiny little changes in your life, you can make big changes. Little changes lead to big changes. The other thing that I did was agree to keep my book near me at all times. And when I had just a few minutes waiting for something in the car, waiting to pick up a kid, or in between activities, instead of picking up my phone and scrolling through social media, I was going to read a few pages of my book. Well, guess what? We are 6 weeks into the new year and I have now read 3.5 books, which is a whole lot more than I've read in the last probably decade. Not that I haven't read 3 books in the last decade, but in 1 year for sure. In 6 weeks, it's crazy. So I'm super excited and it's actually working. Okay, so the very first book that I chose to read was Live Big by Ajit Nawaka. I picked this book because Ajit is somebody I really respect and admire in the coaching industry. And I wanted to see what this book was all about. So the subtitle is An Entrepreneur's Guide to Passion, Practicality, and Purpose. And what I realized was that a lot of the stuff in this book were things that I already knew, that I was already teaching, but it's really nice to see things from a different perspective. So first and foremost, I liked this book. It was very easy to read. The chapters were short and they were engaging. Ajit makes it clear that he doesn't expect you to read the book in the order that it's printed if you don't want to. I chose to do that because that's kind of how my brain works. There are some sections, if you don't think they apply to you, you don't have to pay any attention to them. With business books, I tend to like an actual book. And as you can see, flip through here, you find some highlights and notes in the margin, things like that. And then I went and did a little book report for myself. So I am going to read off of this a little because I don't have it completely memorized. But don't worry, I won't read the whole thing to you. Like I said, it was a great read. I think if you are an entrepreneur, if you're looking to sort of push things to the next level, it's a quick, easy thing to pick up and get some tidbits from. And the more you hear something, the better I think you are at internalizing it. Now, Ajit never uses the term boundaries, but many of the things that he talks about, I think, relate very deeply to the boundary work I do as a coach and a speaker. I have a 7-step system to creating more work-life balance, and that is boundaries is a huge part of that. He doesn't talk about balance either specifically, but again, I think much of what he talks about speaks to how to gain a balance and feel good about your work life and your personal life. And remember, folks, this is not the scales of justice, right? It's not always trying to be even. It very rarely will be even. Sometimes work will be here and personal life is here. Sometimes it switches and it moves, and you have to be willing to be flexible in the process. So just a couple of quick takeaways from this book, Live Big. One is to remember that your business is an experience. It's not an entity. It's a living thing that's constantly developing, and every moment is critical to change. You have to be in this moment. You have to be willing to manage your expectations and flow and change your passions, your purpose. Those things might shift. That's okay. Let them do that. Build the business around those things. Make sure you love what you're doing. So passion is what gives you energy, Ajit says, and purpose is where you want that energy to take you. But the practicality is the roadmap. So for me, I call it system, strategies, and boundaries. Same general concept, right? To be successful, you want to have all of these things: passion, purpose, and practicality. But don't overthink it, right? Don't overthink it. It comes down to system. It comes down to delegation. You can't do everything on your own. You're never going to be able to do everything on your own. Remember that, folks. It's really important to keep that in mind. As a business owner, one of the things that I really love that Ajit said is you want to think about what it would feel like to be successful. Not what you think success is, not what you want success to be, but how do you imagine feeling once you're successful? Tap into that. That was a really powerful thing. I actually spent a lot of time on that. There's a passage. I'm prompted here to read a passage from page 49. So I'm going to pull that up for you. I can find page 49. I have a lot of notes on this book. Even though I felt like this was mostly stuff I knew, they were concepts I was incredibly familiar with, I really appreciated the creative new approach to most of it. So Ajit says, people believe goals and wins and achievements will give them what they seek. Our goals are there to give us satisfaction and fulfillment. Our goals will give us focus and direction. Our goals will allow us to be of service at greater and higher levels, but our goals will not make us happy, because there's never joy and love and appreciation, and there is always love and joy and appreciation. It all depends on you and your perspective. Stop looking for these emotions outside of yourself and learn to connect into your heart. Ask yourself, what makes you feel loved and joyful and appreciated right now, in this moment? Success will find you if you live this way and you stay true to what makes you happy and fulfilled, what makes you feel good about you. Joy will find you. Love will find you. Appreciation will be given to you freely. I couldn't agree with that more. It's true. Trust yourself. Do the things that feel good to you. Stay in the flow. Be flexible. He talks about time, which I think is really great. And a little bit he does jump into celebration. You all know that celebration is important to me. Celebration equals gratitude, being grateful for the things you've done well, and speaking out into the universe the things that you want to have and the things you want to have more of and the things you want to keep. He talks about fractured time, and I think that's just a fancy way of saying multitasking. Ajit and I agree. It's a waste of time. Fractured time is a problem. Multitasking is a problem. If you want to do something really well, stay focused on it. If you are constantly squirreling or checking through email or stopping what you're doing to answer a phone call or move on to something else, you're never going to get anything done. You can't do anything well if you're doing something else at the same time. So I challenge you to try, just for today or maybe for the next couple of days or for the next week, to what I call batch task your time, and to really sit and think about what you want to do, focus on it. You'll find you have a lot more freedom and a lot more flexibility to do that. There's a great chapter in this book called Zero F's to Give. Love that very much. And basically what it boils down to is commit to giving yourself only to things that empower you. Only give an F if something is going to make you feel good, move you forward towards a goal. Be good. If it doesn't do something wonderful for you, don't give an F. Really, don't. I agree. And one of the chapters I found most powerful was called How to Become an Overnight Success. Of course, the moral of the story is you don't become an overnight success. You can't become an overnight success. So this is, again, what does success feel like? The chapter talks about marginal gains. It's focusing on the small things. It's all the little things you do day after day, minute by minute, that make you successful. And it doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen all the time. Trust your gut. There's a lot of trust your gut in here. And then the biggest thing that I think was really, really important is to do it differently. Don't try to do it better than somebody else. Do it differently. Tap into what makes you unique and special. Tap into the one thing that you do that nobody else does, even though there may be overlaps, and that's what you want to sell. Different is better. Different is always better. And different scares a lot of people. They think different is bad. It is not bad. It's just different. And if you present it properly, different is better. And finally, he says, do it for love. Not romantic or sexual love, but for the love of building, creating, growing, for the love of art or connection or gratitude. Do it for beauty. This is the love that creates. This is the love that inspires. The love that we are all truly doing it for. So whatever it is with your business, if you're an entrepreneur and you're reading this, if you're not an entrepreneur and you're just checking out my book reviews, that's cool, but this might help you anyway. Some pretty great stuff. Whatever it is you're doing, do it for love. Love of all of those things. Love of gratitude, love of beauty, love of art, love of connection, love of creativity. So there was a lot. It was a quick, easy read. While it likely won't crack anything majorly open for you, I think that if you've been working in this space, it can connect and it can give you some great ideas and some new ways to approach things. So next, the next book review I'm going to do is The Power of Habit, which I thought was fantastic. But this was fun. So thanks for hanging out with me. I will be doing a book review every month. I didn't get this one out in January, although I did finish this book in early January. It just didn't work out. I took vacation and lots of time off, and then I came back and I got sick. So you'll have probably 2 here in February, and I may even have some bonuses because I am ahead of the game and I'm reading some extra books, which is pretty fun and exciting. So that's it for now. I hope that you are reading. I hope you are choosing bravely. I hope you are listening to the Brave Files podcast and sharing it with your friends. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please reach out. You can reach me at heather@vickeryandco.com or on my website, vickeryandco.com. And I look forward to connecting with you. Happy to get to know you more. Thanks for being here. Bye.